What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today I wanted to make a quick little video touching on the sniping in the Black Ops Cold War beta, as I will be honest, I'm a little bit worried about the sniping heading into the full release of the game. Now, the gameplay seeing in the background was my first game with the LW3, which is also known as the Tundra in this game. I think it's actually called the L96 in real life, and I think I went 36-10 in this game, so it was a pretty decent game, and I thought it was a perfect example of pretty much what I'm going to be talking about. Now, you guys know me, I love sniping. I've always sniped in Call of Duty games and pretty much any shooter that there is. However, one thing that I'm just a little bit worried about in Black Ops Cold War is actually just how dominant these snipers are. Now, you would think with me being a sniper that I wouldn't want to be talking about this. I'd be, just saying, they're not that good and, shrugging it off. But in all honesty, I actually prefer when snipers are kind of harder to use, because it just means that less people use them, and then when I use them, it feels a little bit more skillful and, it feels deserved in a way. So throughout the beta, these things did feel, like I said, really overpowered. It's mostly, I think, to do with the ADS speed. Obviously, in any Call of Duty, they're all one-hit kills and stuff like that, so it's not really to do with the damage, but mostly it's just to do with that ADS speed, as honestly this feels like Modern Warfare 2 level sniping, where you can just aim down sights pretty much instantly, and if you are good enough at quick scoping, then really these things are actually by far the best weapons in the game, because you can finish a gunfight way faster than any other weapon in the game. So that is something that I'm a little bit worried about heading into the game. They did actually say, and this was back in the alpha, they mentioned that they were going to make them more powerful in the alpha before actually nerfing them for the beta. So they knew that before they actually released the beta, and to be honest, I'm not really sure why you would do that. That seems a little bit counterintuitive to me, to make something when you know you're going to nerf it. They said they did it for data, but at least to me, I would have felt that the data you would get from having it how you want it to be nerfed is more reliable than data that you're going to get that is going to change anyway. But that is beside the point. At the end of the day, they did say that they were a little bit more powerful and that they would be getting a slight nerf for Black Ops. And in my opinion, they actually did feel nerfed compared to the alpha. The alpha was even far worse than what this was. But even with the fact that they were nerfed, they still felt extremely powerful in the Black Ops beta. Now, I also want to make it clear that I'm not really complaining about it, because like I said, if they're really good, that's just good for me. So it's not really a complaint, it's more just a balancing issue that I have, that no one wants a really, really fast time to kill. And yeah, it's when you have a one-shot sniper that can ADS at the same speed as every other weapon, we all know that there's a lot of players out there who can genuinely really quick scope to the point where you have no chance against them at all. So personally, I'm okay with dealing with it, because I do snipe myself, and so it just, one, sort of motivates me to get better at sniping, and two, I can't really be complaining about sniping if I'm doing it myself. So personally, I'm okay with it, but I think for the majority of the player base, it's not really that sort of enticing when there's a game that, if you can't quickscope, you're just going to die every single time. So just wanted to get that out of the way. It's not really a complaint personally for me. It is a little bit annoying, don't get me wrong, when you get quickscoped, but for me, I'm okay with dealing with it. This is more just a worry about the entire player base as a whole, because we obviously want the game to do well, and we want the player base to stick around and have fun. If there's a small player base, if they all leave because of whatever reason, that's just not good for the game. So that's my main issue. They seem to be obviously tailoring Call of Duty these days to casuals, so the fact that they're doing that, but then they're also making sniping, which is probably the least casual thing in the game, the fact that they're making that the best thing to do, again, kind of seems a little bit counterintuitive, where it's we're focusing on this area, but if you're really good with this thing, then you can just flog everyone. So yeah, to me, it just doesn't really make sense. They have seemed to make a lot of sort of weird decisions like that. I've already talked about skill-based matchmaking, so I don't need to cover that in this video. I think you guys know how I feel about that. And if you haven't seen my thoughts on that, then definitely check out my latest Black Ops video. That was, I think it was my thoughts on the beta. And yeah, if you haven't heard, I'm not the biggest fan of skill-based matchmaking. But if you are going to go down that route, you've got to at least sort of go all in. And for me, it doesn't make sense to have the whole game tailored to making it all, completely even, but then also having a weapon that it's well, if you're really good with this weapon, then it doesn't matter about the skill-based matchmaking, because you're going to just dominate no matter what lobbies you're in. So again, seems a little bit counterintuitive to me, but that's just how it is. Now, like I said, I think the main issue for me is just the ADS. I don't think there's really anything else that they can do. If you start nerfing the damage and all that kind of thing, then it just becomes useless, because if you can't get a one-hit kill with a sniper, then there's literally no point in using one. So for me, the only thing that they really can do to fix it is literally just to slow down the ADS speed, because like I said, this feels like it's borderline Modern Warfare 2, where it's like, yeah, anyone who played that game will know what I mean, but essentially the ADS speed on those snipers, especially the intervention, was just insane, and sniping, I don't want to say ruined that game, but it was so, like, it just took over the game. And so I don't think anyone wants that to happen with this game. You want a game to, you know, be balanced enough where everyone's kind of using every weapon. There's no real weapons that everyone uses. There always will be, and people will always snipe, but you want to at least make it balanced to where it's, you know, you're not at a disadvantage if you're not using a sniper rifle. Now, I'm not sure if they did actually nerf the damage, but I have a feeling they actually nerfed the damage on the Pallington, or I think it's just technically the R700. That thing felt like I was getting a lot more hit markers than I was in the alpha, so maybe that's what else they changed. I'm not 100% sure on, you know, I don't think there was really ever patch notes on what they did change, but like I said, I don't think that's the best way to go about it. The main thing that they need to do is just slightly slow down the ADS speed. That's the thing too, it's not like it's crazy overpowered. I don't think it's, you know, too much different from a lot of other Call of Duties. But at least compared to, say, Modern Warfare, it does just feel... It felt like I already ran into way more snipers in the beta compared to even playing Modern Warfare in general. So maybe that was just to do with, you know, people getting back into Black Ops. It feels like an older Call of Duty. Maybe just more people were sniping in general. I'm not really sure. But the fact that they mentioned the snipers were a little bit stronger than they were sort of planning them to be, that does just kind of point to the fact that maybe everyone was using them because they are slightly overpowered. So it was a bit of a random video, a bit of a rant, but I've been thinking about it for the last few days. I was having to talk to some guys like Vic and I think even Alice and Sturm in the Discord about it, and those guys kind of feel the same way. It becomes sort of frustrating when the only deaths you get are from snipers, and like I said, for me personally, I'm okay to deal with it because I do snipe myself, so I can't really be like overly critical of something when I'm doing it myself. It's kind of hypocritical in a way, but yeah, even still, I would prefer them to be a little bit harder to use, have a bit of a higher skill gap, which in turn makes it kind of more satisfying to play. And then when you do come across a good sniper, then you know that they probably deserve to kill you, compared to how it currently is. Honestly, I just feel like if you kind of get lucky, sometimes you can end up with a few decent kills. So that is going to do it for this one, boys and girls. Like I said, pretty random little video, but I had that gameplay there and I have been thinking about it, so I thought I would get my thoughts out to you guys. There will definitely be plenty more Black Ops videos on the way. There's also going to be some more Warzone videos coming as well, and so keep your eyes peeled for those ones. That is going to do it for this one though, guys. If you did enjoy the video, then be sure to leave a like down below, and if you are new, then consider subscribing to the channel with those notifications on. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.